Tonight, in our coverage, the White House breaks long-standing U.S. policy by holding direct talks with Hamas. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm IHRA. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is describing his latest call with U.S. President Donald Trump as tense and at times heated. The two leaders discuss ending the American-led trade war. Negotiations are ongoing to secure some tariff relief for certain sectors. However, Trudeau warns that Trump is unwilling to drop tariffs entirely, making it likely that trade tensions will persist. Talks are in progress to suspend all tariffs until April 2nd, but no final agreement has been reached. Meanwhile, Trump has already granted Mexico a 1-month tariff exemption following discussions with President Claudia Sheinbaum. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says Trump may extend a similar reprieve to Canada. A senior government official has revealed that Trump used profanity multiple times when discussing Canadian dairy products. The conversation also became contentious over fentanyl, with Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance disputing Trump's defense that Canada is actively addressing the issue. Despite the tensions, the call ended on a more positive note, with both leaders agreeing to continue discussions on possible tariff exemptions. Trudeau says Canada remains firm on retaliatory tariffs and will not back down unless all U.S. levies are lifted. Canada's new guide to understanding and combating Islamophobia officially recognizes anti-Palestinian racism as a distinct form of discrimination. The report has been released by Mira Al-Khawabi, Canada's Special Representative on Combating Islamophobia. It highlights the persecution Palestinians face in Canada. Advocacy groups, including Canadians for Justice and Peace in the Middle East, welcome this recognition. But they argue that Canada's endorsement of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism undermines these efforts by conflating Palestinian advocacy with anti-Semitism. The group says it has documented institutional discrimination against Palestinians since October 2023, citing media and government bias. Researcher Jamila Awais highlights how anti-Palestinian tropes are used to silence Palestinian perspectives. The group is urging Canada to abandon the IHRA framework and adopt a more equitable approach to addressing discrimination. The group says the guide is an important step toward protecting Palestinian voices. The White House has confirmed the Trump administration is engaged in direct negotiations with Hamas, signaling a major shift in U.S. policy. The move is facilitated by Qatari intermediaries and focuses on securing the release of 21-year-old Israeli-American captive Eden Alexander and the bodies of 4 others. Reports indicate discussions also included a broader hostage release and a long-term ceasefire. Adam Bowler, a key negotiator in the Abraham Accords, led the U.S. side of the talks. A few weeks earlier, Trump issued a strong warning to Hamas, threatening deadly consequences if hostages were not released and pledging full support to Israel. He had also pushed for the ethnic cleansing of Gaza and a takeover of the territory. Hamas has not officially responded, but described the talks as promising. The militant group accuses Israel of avoiding commitments to a ceasefire. Currently, 59 captives remain in Gaza, with 24 believed to be alive. A previous ceasefire deal saw Hamas release hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Reports say Israel was consulted about the negotiations, but learned details through other channels. Meanwhile, the ceasefire remains uncertain, as Israel has blocked aid to Gaza, worsening the humanitarian crisis. Sudan has taken legal action against the United Arab Emirates at the International Court of Justice. It is accusing the Gulf nation of violating the Genocide Convention. Sudan alleges that the Emirates has armed and funded the rebel paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, fueling the deadly conflict that has devastated the country. The World Court has confirmed Sudan filed the case yesterday. The accusations include genocide, mass killings, rape, forced displacement, and widespread human rights violations, specifically targeting the Masalit people. The UAE has yet to respond to the allegations. However, the Gulf nation has previously denied arming the Rapid Support Forces despite mounting evidence. A U.S.-funded watchdog, Conflict Observatory, has linked UAE aircraft to arms transfers for the Rapid Support Forces, with flights routed through Chad. The conflict erupted in April 2023 as tensions between Sudan's military and the Rapid Support Forces escalated into all-out war. Since then, more than 24,000 people have been killed. More than 14 million civilians, which is a third of Sudan's population, have been forcibly displaced. While rulings from the International Court of Justice are legally binding, they can take years to finalize. The opening of the Islamic Center of Yellowknife has been delayed once again due to a funding gap of approximately $1 million. This has pushed its expected completion to later this year. The center was originally set to open in March. It remains only 70 to 80% complete as rising construction costs and funding challenges continue to stall progress. Imam Sheikh Habib Hassan says the community is disappointed not to be able to pray in the mosque during Ramadan. Construction began after the previous center was demolished in 2019. However, now the construction costs have risen from $2.5 million to $6.5 million. Fuzan Khan, CEO of IHRA Canada, notes that fundraising has been difficult due to Yellowknife's small Muslim community and construction challenges. Operations manager Yasser Hussain cites short building seasons, harsh weather, and workforce limitations as key factors behind the rising costs. Nationwide fundraising efforts continue, but organizers are hoping Yellowknife residents alone can help close the remaining $400,000 to $500,000 gap needed for interior work. For now, local Muslims gather in a temporary small space at Monkey Tree Place and rent the multiplex on weekends for Ramadan prayers. Despite the setbacks, Hassan remains optimistic that the center will open by August or September. He says the center will provide much-needed space for expanded programs and welcoming the broader community. A cafe in Montreal, Quebec is making a statement against U.S. tariffs by renaming the Americano coffee the Canadiano. The owners say the change is a way to support the local economy while keeping the message lighthearted. They are also working to source more ingredients from Canadian suppliers, minimizing reliance on U.S. imports. The move comes as Montreal cafes and restaurants remove American products from their menus in response to the U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods. Owners anticipate a rise in ingredient costs, but are willing to absorb the extra expense. They say the boycott is necessary to push back against U.S. policies. This summer, there is an expected influx of American tourists due to the lower Canadian dollar. Businesses say they are focused on supporting local products and reducing dependence on U.S. imports. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.